Hi, I'm Sam Squailia with Discussing Fitchburg Now, shooting from the home studios of Sam Squailia at home and my guests at home, because this is our new normal now. So I have on with me now Anthony Bovenzi, the president of NoWoCo Pride. Thanks for coming on our Zoom meeting.
Hello, Sam. And hello, Fitchburg.
So, you know, we've all been having to adjust everything our whole lives based on this COVID-19 pandemic, and NoWoCo Pride is not exempted from that as well. So why don't you talk a little bit about how what changes have been happening with NoWoCo Pride?
So this year we've had to postpone a couple of our fundraisers, which is our drag bingo as well as our drag brunch, which is going to be happening. And we also had to postpone all of our Pride events from July to September.
So the second annual Pride, which it was at Riverfront Park, the first one was at Riverfront Park in July, is going to be, the second annual is going to be in September now, from September 17th to the 20th.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Riverfront Park.
At Riverfront Park. And so this is a multi-day event, or is there the one day at Riverfront Park and there's a series of events around it?
So there's one day at Riverfront Park, which is Saturday, September 19th. And then we have other events from the Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at multiple different other places.
Yeah. And you had a revealing of the theme on March 29th.
Stand together and be counted.
Stand together and be counted. So talk about the theme of this year's kind of festival and activities.
So this year, with a lot of stuff at stake, including gay rights as a whole across the nation with the current administration in the White House, we felt the need that the gay community needs to stand together and be counted in this election to make a difference so our rights don't get taken away.
So going off the census, the 2020 census.
Yep, similar to census, but more of a come together as one as a community to get rid of something that's throwing so much hate towards our community.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the surrounding events that we anticipate at this point will still be happening now, September 17th through the 20th? We have the drag story time at the library like we did last year.
Yep, that's going to be on the Friday, which is the 18th. But we're going to start our week on the 17th in the afternoon at Riverfront Park at the flagpole to raise the rainbow flag for the weekend.
Oh, that's a good start.
So nice. We're starting our weekend off on the Thursday with a flag raising, and then Friday we have our drag story time at the Fitchburg Public Library from 3:45 to 3 to 3:45. And then we have our reception at the Fitchburg Art Museum that evening at 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a kind of way to say thank you to our sponsors and invite the community to come and join together and look at the art and have some hors d'oeuvres, and we have a open bar and everything. It's a fun little thank you to our community. And then Saturday, the main event, which is our festival, with our MC Misery from Boston, drag legend, as well as our headliners Snow Day, which is a band from here in Worcester, and Lavender is another headliner, and another newcomer is Farrah Valley, who sings and also lip syncs and performs the songs of Frankie Valli.
Oh, perfect. Farrah Valley.
Yep. And then Sunday, it all ends with a tea dance, and the location's still to be determined right now. And the time will be from 3 to about 6 p.m. at that location in the afternoon. And all the proceeds, because we're asking a $5 donation at the door for our tea dance, all the money raised from our tea dance will be redistributed to the community and the businesses affected by COVID-19.
Oh, that's good. That's a good cause, because this is going to be really I mean, this has already been incredibly impactful to not only nonprofit organizations like your own, but to businesses all across the world. You know, how
Yeah,
are we going to recover? You know, everyone's talking about what's the new normal going to even look like.
exactly. I know because we're a member of Interpride, which is the International Pride Organizers organization. We're one of the members of that organization, and I know Interpride is looking at doing a virtual Pride Day, June 27th-ish, which is around the time New York City Pride would be happening, and the 51st anniversary of Stonewall and the 50th anniversary of New York City Pride. They're looking to do a worldwide, global, virtual Pride in June.
So, do you have any kind of backup plans if by September everything's not kind of hunky-dory for being in public and in groups? Do you have a kind of a
Our
backup
plan
virtual
would be
plan
to postpone till next year.
next year?
Unfortunately, at our regular July dates.
Yep, yep, that's reasonable. Yeah.
Circumstances.
Oh yeah. What about any uh, kind of support groups that used to meet online, you know, that aren't I mean, that used to meet in person, that might not be able to meet in person anymore, that obviously aren't meeting in person? Do you know of any support groups? Do you share these on your Facebook page or anything like that?
Yes, we're going to be sharing two ideal online support groups, one for LGBTQ youth and one for parents, which is PFLAG, is now meeting online virtually the third Wednesday of every month. So anyone can sign in on Zoom and actually meet with PFLAG, the director, and all the other parents from the area from Central Mass, and actually get support that they need. And then on the kids' side, it would be Safe Homes, which meets here in Worcester, but they're doing virtual meetings too.
Yep. A lot of organizations have really kind of taken this opportunity to take everything online, and it's really nice, like we're doing here. Yep.
Yep, and our NoWoCo Pride meetings are now online too. So our info sessions now will be the second Tuesday of every month via free conference call, which we'll post all the details on our Facebook page.
So you can go to the NoWoCo Pride Facebook page to find out more information about the upcoming events plans, about the organizing meetings, if you want to be a part of helping to organize. Yep, you can go to the Facebook page.
And they can also go to www.nowocopride.org, which is our official website, which has all that info too.
Perfect. So that's NoWoCo Pride.org. So NoWoCo Pride, and that stands for North Worcester County Pride, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Great.
We made an acronym just like Northampton.
Yep. I love it. It's great. It's very catchy. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about what, you know, your organization has been doing in response to this pandemic, or any upcoming plans?
We're just trying to keep everyone safe in the community. We help out where we can. Anyone can reach out to us for online meetings or support groups, or if they need support in general and they need to ask questions, they can email us directly for any support or resource that they might need, because we have a list of resources that are out there for everyone during this pandemic.
Great. Thank you so much, Anthony, president of NoWoCo Pride. Thank you for coming on and chatting with us about your upcoming plans in September for the second annual Pride Festival.
Thank you, Sam.
All right. All right. We are going to take a break and go to the next guest. Hi, welcome back to Discussing Fitchburg Now. I'm your host, Sam Squailia, shooting from the in-home, at-home studios of Sam Squailia's house. And with me now, I have Mary Heafy, the president and CEO of the Arc of Opportunity of North Central Massachusetts in Fitchburg. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us, Mary.
Hi, Sam. I'm actually in Fitchburg in my office.
Uh-huh,
And it's
because
good to be with you.
you are an essential worker.
I am. As not as essential as my staff, I'll tell you, but yeah, we are classified as essential healthcare workers because we work with people with developmental and intellectual disabilities and brain injuries, and they are a vulnerable population. And in this pandemic, we are absolutely essential healthcare personnel, thanks to the designation of Charlie Baker.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about how the Arc of Opportunity is responding to this pandemic with their staff and with your day program and with all your clients, and also, with your group homes that you operate as well. So, we can talk about, how you're responding and kind of what challenges that you've been facing and that kind of thing.
Boy, Sam, it changes every day, as you know. We follow closely the guidance of the CDC and the Department of Developmental Services and whatever the latest executive order is, as we should. But that has really thrown, let me say, I've always described us as creative and resilient. Boy, but has this drawn upon our creativity and resilience. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, was the first day that we did not have our day programs. And usually there's, 150 people in this building. They may quickly go out and do things in the community. But suddenly when you can't have more than 10 people together, there was no way in the world that we could run programs. So on a dime, we had to change.
It's been, over a month that you haven't been able to run the day program. How are you responding with your clients, and are you doing anything online for them? Anything like that?
Yeah. So we had to be really innovative and be innovative fast. So first, and we also wanted to try to keep our amazing staff whole and keep them employed. If half the staff suddenly doesn't have a program to be responsible for, what are they doing? And so first and foremost, we knew that our group homes suddenly were going to have people home from 9 to 3 or 8:30 to 4, in around there every day, that normally they're not staffed and they don't have people home because they're a day program. And so there was both an opportunity and a challenge. The program participants suddenly were going to, some of them who live in group homes were going to be at home. And we had the opportunity to have our day staff go into the homes. They already knew a lot of the people. So that, at least, if your life is going to be turned upside down and you're not going to have the routine of a day program, then it's really comforting to have your staff around.
Have a familiar face.
Yeah. So familiarity was helpful. But imagine the logistics of trying to figure out, okay, who goes to what home, and somebody works from 10 to 2 and somebody works from 9 to 3, and how do you put the puzzle pieces together?
How do you keep them physically distanced? How do you,
Interestingly, though, in the home, just like in your home, I doubt within your home you're maintaining physical distance with your immediate family.
Not much.
Yeah, not much at all.
I've been trying.
Okay, sweetie, you go over there now. But, it doesn't work. And it's not necessary in the home because you're living and breathing each other's germs all the time.
Right.
So in a group home, we actually don't within the home need to maintain social distancing because the 4 or 5 people live in that home have been living together for some time. The staff come in and out, and that became, we had to follow CDC guidelines. So every staff member on every shift, and for the few of us who are in this building, and for those who are working remotely, not in a group home, not in this building, everyone reports daily. Do I have a temperature? We no longer need to ask if we've been out of the country in the past 14 days, but all the CDC questions, every shift, every day. And then later we moved it on to, we physically take the staff's temperature on shift, not just self-reported, we literally take temperatures. Because when you're socially isolated, you're not exchanging, you're living with your own germs. It's the staff coming in and out who potentially posed the risk. If they were not practicing social distancing on the outside of a group home, then they could bring something in. So that was something that we really had to take seriously and manage. And, you know, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. So we have actually, so far so good. I'm almost afraid to say it, but knock on my wooden desk here. We have not had any of the individuals who we support become ill or test positive. So that's been
knock
really
on
remarkable.
wood. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a comforting statistic right there.
It is, and cross fingers, toes, anything else you can cross. But I think it's a tribute to the staff's vigilance in practicing the precautions and calling out if there was any chance that they were sick. And you know what? It's spring allergy season. So somebody might say, well, I have a cough. Is it COVID-19? Is it allergies? Is it you got a cold? But err on the side of caution and yet keep the home staffed. So those are some of the dynamic tensions that we face all the time. But you asked about the, go ahead, you looked like you had a question. We'll get back to programming.
That's good. I was just gonna segue into, we're talking about group homes and you know, your workers being categorized as essential workers, which they are. You know, there was a recent email that I read from the Arc of Opportunity discussing how the hazard pay that some essential healthcare workers are getting, but the Arc of Opportunity, are you getting that? Are you getting that hazard pay as well?
No. And that's a big deal. Our staff, and let me say, I don't begrudge the category of workers doing the exact same thing for getting hazard pay.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
My concern is it should be for all staff doing the same work. So there's two different groupings of staff. There are what are known as state op staff. There are some group homes operated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and they are state employees. Right. That's about 20% of the group homes, 20%. 80% are the community homes, us, the ARC, the other chapters of the ARC in Massachusetts. We're not alone. Plenty of our great colleagues, the folks from IPPI locally, Venture, there are, you know, locally, there are many of us. So for all of us, we were not included in that agreement reached with the Governor Baker's administration. Right. And I don't think that, I think people didn't realize what the decision was. But here's the bottom line. I have staff who are brave and bold and committed and resilient. They're leaving their families every day. They're going into the home. They're getting exposed to other staff more than the individuals because the individuals have been in the home. And so there's risk to them. They deserve hazard pay. And $5 an hour would make a big difference. State op staff doing the same work already get paid more per hour. And so our amazing staff deserve this support. So if you think that, contact Governor Baker's office. We have a nice simple link on our website that you can, 30 seconds you can.
And what is that website URL so that we can go to that?
So, where is Colby when I need him? It's arcofopportunity.org.
The Arc of Opportunity.
No the in this case, so it's the
arcofopportunity.org, and you can see right on the heading of the website. Yep. It's a directive. Contact Governor Baker to ensure that all essential home healthcare workers are covered.
That's right, right. And it'll take you 30 seconds, so it's not a big deal at all. And it matters. We are, in our downtown office, we are the largest employer in downtown. We have about 287 employees. So this is a lot of employees. We actually are pretty, you know, when you think of all those paychecks, that buy their groceries locally and pay rent and pay mortgages, we actually impact the economics of North Central Massachusetts and the Worcester area pretty significantly. So please
Absolutely.
support my folks.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mary. In other ways of connecting with your clients and with the community, I saw that there was an ask for making masks from the community, and that your healthcare workers need masks, and there's not enough available. Ooh.
Isn't this one beautiful? And look,
what is it? What are those birds?
I have peacocks.
Oh, and a peacock.
Yep.
Yep.
And a blue print on the other side. So when I go visit, I get to have one too. You may be aware, just it's true of every healthcare provider, none of us have enough personal protective equipment.
Right.
And we have some N95 masks. I actually went to my husband's workshop and found 31 construction N95 masks and took them.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, sweetie, you don't need those, or we need them more. And ideally, you know this from hospitals, you should use them once and be done with them.
Right.
It is impossible, we just don't have enough. But if you put these masks over your N95 mask, it helps, it adds another layer of protection. So
And you can wash the cloth mask and
that's
hopefully
right.
reuse the N95, which will keep you safe for longer.
That's right. So we could not believe it. And they continue coming in today, and we just don't have enough yet because, as you can imagine, if there are 3 shifts a day and there are individuals in the home too, 1 per person isn't even enough. So we would love it if people still have more that they'd like to donate. But I want to tell you, Sam, it was unbelievable. So we put it on our Facebook page. We're astounded by how many people shared it. And the people who had never had any contact with the ARC, who just have keeps calling saying, okay, I made another 50 or I need another 10. And what's been so much fun is the beautiful different fabrics. I showed you mine, the beautiful fabrics that people have used. And we have fabrics from folks from Africa who reflect their culture, and we have funky fabrics, and so there's also some nice choice in it too. If you have to wear a mask, isn't it nice to be able to have a choice about what you wear? So if there are more mask makers, please let us know. Or if there are people who aren't mask makers, but you happen to have elastic in your home.
Yeah, elastic's hard to come by.
That's the hot item.
I've had to make mine with just cloth straps, which are annoying.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, the other trick is we got some with bling on them, and I thought, whoa, these are pretty neat. Headbands.
Oh yeah, headbands.
People were using headbands. So yeah, they have bling on those. But anyway, so it's been kind of, the generosity of the community has been phenomenal. And
so if people want to donate more masks to you, how do they do that? How do they contact you?
You can call the main number, 978-343-6662, or there's a web form.
Right at arcofopportunity.org?
arcofopportunity.org. You're good, Sam. Thank you. And we will be, we also have a Facebook page, the arcofopportunity.org on the Facebook page. There's, we respond to your messages immediately. And that's honestly where we got a lot of them. So anyway.
Social media is huge.
Social media worked once again. Yeah.
So on segueing right on that, on social media, you were talking about maybe doing more programming virtually for your day program participants or your group home participants, maybe that are used to being with their friends during the day, but now they're isolated. What are some things that you plan on doing, or maybe that some other Arc of Opportunity other art chapters are doing? Sure. So it has evolved, and it will evolve more. So I'll tell you what we're doing, and I'll tell you what my imagination takes me to.
every day we have a calendar of things that are happening. And so I'm looking at 9 o'clock this morning, there was the daily news, and it's quite a lively show. That's the news of the day, you know, a variety of things. You have to watch it. Then there was an employment group via Zoom, those people who are job seekers. And then there was, we heard from people that they missed having lunch with their friends. And so we've had lunch groups to just chat, or lunch groups to watch a movie and talk about that. Then sometimes there's crafty kinds of things. One of the offerings was a tour of, I keep saying, I'll get it right this time, the Cincinnati Zoo. And it was possible at that point, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, before the demand had gotten so great, you could actually book a live tour of the Cincinnati Zoo. So we're on Zoom and there's somebody at the Cincinnati Zoo showing us around. You know, our folks would normally be out in the community doing all sorts of things. So suddenly this is really boring to have nothing to do. And quite honestly, I think families will relate to this. It's easy to get on each other's nerves. And, you know, that never happens at your house, I'm sure, Sam. Never happens at my house either.
My open concept house is now, I'm wishing for an old-timey, you know, room
with doors
where every room is compartmentalized with doors.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So if you can leave just hanging out at home and join this activity, it's pretty phenomenal. And so there's a couple of things. So every week it changes. Yesterday we held a call with about 28, a Zoom call with about 28 people from, I think it was 14 chapters of the ARC in Massachusetts, because we're all trying to do this. And chapters of the ARC are wonderful. We're not competitors with each other. We're absolute colleagues. One chapter was really having success doing cooking classes where we haven't done any. We have more success with science and art and music. And somebody else had, you know, Zumba was, exercise was more for them. So we're saying, could we connect with each other and not all have to develop it all, because then there's also more choice. So ultimately, I hope that we'll have even a more robust calendar that you could decide, oh, I like this at 10 and I don't like this at 1, but I'd like to do something at 4. You know, a virtual bingo game, anything that brightens up the day, that offers some learning. We had some groups, there are people who have goals to become more competent at counting money. There are ways you can learn to do that at home with our person coaching you with that. And honestly, I popped onto a science group yesterday. I popped onto the call for 5 minutes and I probably disrupted it, but it was so nice to see the people I miss seeing, and they miss seeing us as well. So just chair yoga, all sorts of things.
So,
what a whole program.
Is there any need for people in the community, if they want to host a class for the people of the Arc of Opportunity, or what? How do we do that?
So that's what I'm kind of imagining. We know that there's lots of interests, and we know there are lots of gifts and talents in the community. Now, I want to be clear, the people who we're talking about have a wide array of abilities. Some people have complete mobility and some will have limited mobility. Some people will be able to do complex things and others will need to do more limited things. So, but we're hoping that there might be some members of the community who might be able to hear this and say, and I'll tell you some of the things I'm thinking about. Maybe somebody has a simple art project, or maybe somebody's a gardener, and if we could get, it have to be, you have to assume that everyone doesn't have all sorts of supplies at their fingertips, but certainly for our group homes, if we were going to do some planting project, and we could get packs of marigolds up to people, and if they're still cracking eggs, maybe you can plant marigolds. And then the next week, so maybe there could be a simple planting project, indoors or outdoors. And then maybe
starting seeds.
starting seeds, maybe the next, whether in an egg, I must have eggs on the brain, but you know, I have chickens, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Planting in the shell, planting in the egg carton, planting before it goes in the ground, all the things that gardeners know about. How could we do that? And it's week 1, but maybe somebody would say, well, every Tuesday afternoon for the next 4 weeks, I'll do a simple gardening project, or every Wednesday morning for the next 4 weeks, I'll do chair yoga or meditation or something.
And we can do it via this Zoom platform.
Yes, Zoom is our best
platform. Okay,
Zoom,
yeah.
Facebook Live, yep. And you know, maybe there's some potential with FATV of collaborating on this.
Maybe FATV can show these things right on the cable.
Right, because it's of interest to a number of people, and it really does make a difference. And think of it, we spend a lot of time in our day program. It's a community-based day program, so people may start here, but the building can be pretty empty because they're gone other than to start and end the day here. And so connections with the community is really important. And how can that happen? So my imagination could go wild on this. arcofopportunity.org. There is, you know, contact us. We'd love to have these ideas. And you can see my name is there. We're all first initial dot last name. So at arcofopportunity.org. So I am happy to field those things as well. But I hope this might pique somebody's interest, and
well, I hope you get some good feedback from the community, and you know, I hope everything continue. I hope the curve continues to remain flat. It feels like we're doing a pretty good job of social distancing and flattening the curve. So hopefully this doesn't extend out too far, but it doesn't look like it's going to be ending in any short period yet.
Yeah, you know, the date we're holding on to that maybe in my dreams is the governor said May 4th, but what day will we expect an extension on that one? And honestly, we'd rather extend and get this under control than not.
And then we'll have to deal with our new normal, you know, after that, you know?
Yeah, and what will that look like? So yeah.
So, all right, thank you, Mary. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close?
Oh, Sam, you know, pretty soon we'd be expecting you and your family and so many others to come to take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the ball game, which, you know, normally we'd be talking about fun events to go to and things to enjoy, but we're not talking about that
We are not talking.
Is take me out to the ball game that's is effectively postponed
It's
or
been rained out.
canceled?
It's been rained out. We're using baseball jargon.
We don't have baseball to have a ball game, right?
So, you know, honestly, there's two thoughts, and we don't know what the answer is right now. One is that people may be really excited to do something in the summertime, or maybe we're looking for 2021. I don't honestly know.
We'll stay tuned for what's happening with the great events that the Arc of Opportunity likes to hold in order to fund their recreation programs.
That's right. No funding for family support and recreation. And, you know, we talked about the programming, but the other things that people should keep their eyes on, we realize families are stressed, and caregivers who normally may get a break because their loved one is off at a program during the day, ours or somebody else's. And so we honestly are, our first priority was the individuals, and now we're really looking at how to support caregivers as well. And that will include everything from some of the things we normally do. Healthy relationships is one that's geared for caregivers and for the participants, 2 separate programs. But just what's it like to manage the stress of being at home constantly, and what might you do? So we're excited. Some great things are bubbling up.
All right, great. Well, we'll stay tuned, and maybe we'll talk to you again when things progress.
Yeah, Sam would love to, and I hope everyone stays well and washes their hands vigorously.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary, from the Arc of Opportunity in Fitchburg for chatting with us, and thank you for watching at home from Discussing Fitchburg Now. Hi, and thanks for watching Discussing Fitchburg Now from the home studio of Sam Squailia and the home studio of Sam Squailia's guests. Up now, I have Dawn, the owner of the Finicky Fork. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us, Dawn.
Thanks, Sam. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too, even though it's not in person. It's all virtually over the computer.
This is different. It's
Yep.
cool.
So just like we have to change the format of the TV show, we have to change the format of our dining experiences, other than people who always cook at home, I guess. How's that been going? So you have kind of switched everything to curbside pickup, correct?
Yeah, it's been quite a change for us. We're primarily a catering company that focuses on private events, corporate events, things like that. So early April, end of February, early April, we have a lot of corporate events that started to cancel due to the international travel bans, things like that going on. So at that point, I wasn't really quite sure what was going on. I started to pay attention to what was going on because that was everything was going on in China and Italy, and so drastically, it seemed like drastically overnight, we had to completely change our business model of how we operated because there was no more gatherings, which resulted in a loss of a lot of events. So we've had weddings canceled and bridal showers, baby showers, all the corporate meetings. So in order to survive, you have to adapt and be fluid with the times. So so we decided we would go ahead and try the curbside pickup out of our commercial kitchen. So we don't have a full service restaurant. It's completely different. Catering is completely different than a full service restaurant. So it was quite some adjustments to working in, but we did.
So normally around this time, normally this is your busy season. That's what you're saying with corporate events.
Right. Well, the corporate events pretty much go all year round. We have some really solid accounts that we do several times a week that their offices emptied out. So especially with the work from home, and again, there was no more international travel. They have a lot of sales meetings, so those stopped, and any sort of celebration you could ever imagine was canceled. So yeah, so but getting into the spring, it's baby shower, bridal shower, graduations. We're constantly rescheduling. No one really knows what to do next.
When it's going to end, or when we're going to go back to real life.
A couple events we've already rescheduled a few times, thinking that we might get the go ahead in May. Then okay, it's not going to happen in May, so let's try June. So I've actually been talking to a lot of my clients, just saying like, let's just hold off, and when we start to see the changes, once we start to see the changes happen, when they start releasing some of the restrictions, then we can plan. But honestly, the entire face of these type of events are going to change for a while. So we're not going to go.
Yeah, what are you anticipating when it comes to the corporate event side and the bridal events and the weddings and that kind of thing? What are you anticipating the new normal to look like a few months or half a year down the line?
So I'm anticipating, one, that the events are going to be obviously much smaller than they were. There's a lot of fear, with good reason. It's a hostile environment out there right now. So and everyone needs to protect themselves. So I feel that I'm expecting deep into the fall, possibly we start having gatherings. I've actually had a few people reach out to me where they've, their initial event to get married was 175, 200 people. Now it's a gathering of 6, and
Oof,
Mhm.
that'd be tough to pare down my guest list to 6.
To 6 people. So what I think a lot of people will be doing, especially regarding the weddings, is that they'll be having private ceremonies and holding off to have their receptions at a later date. So
Yep.
we had a lot of receptions for destination weddings scheduled. A lot of people that were getting married in other countries or other areas of the country and then coming back and having their receptions here. So I feel like people will be holding off on the receptions for quite a while.
So just an extra busy 2021.
We're gearing up for it. So we'll gear up. I'm actually super grateful that we were able to find an alternative route to keep our small team working. So it's important.
So the alternative route is kind of the Finicky Fork Cafe has kind of almost been transformed into a bigger kind of curbside takeout, right?
So, well, it's 2 different locations. The cafe is located up on the UMass Burbank campus at Community Health Connections, and
And the cafe's still open.
the cafe is still open. We've cut down by about 70% in volume there,
Right.
just because it's a very, very clean site. So they're very, very cautious there. But a lot of what they offered has been cut down dramatically, and the public isn't allowed in there anymore. So everyone gets you get your temperature taken when you walk in the door. You know, you're asked a list of questions. Only one patient can come in the building at a time. Like you could possibly go in with your daughter, but you wouldn't be able to go in with your spouse.
Right.
So unless they needed you for assistance. So, but we are still operating there, and we're very grateful to be there. I feel like it's a very safe environment to be in. So that's good. But we're offering curbside.
So it's the catering. So the Finicky Fork catering side is doing all the curbside kind of takeout from your home base of Rollstone Church, Rollstone Congregational Church at Main Street.
Yes. So we do we have 2 different 2 different Facebook pages. One is specifically for the cafe, and one was specifically for catering. They're 2 completely different entities, or they used to be 2 completely different entities. Now we offer Monday through Friday, we offer curbside and takeout through the cafe for breakfast and lunch. And then in the early afternoon and early evening, we offer dinner takeout from downtown.
So you can get breakfast at the Finicky Fork Cafe, and you can get lunch there also, and then you can get dinner at the catering company.
Yes, yes, yes. So
you can get all the meals.
So,
and so you've been doing this. So every week you put out a new menu, and people can call in their order and just drive by and come pick it up.
Correct. So typically we start taking orders at 9 o'clock in the morning. Some people will call the first day the menu is released and order for the entire week. Some people go back and, but again, the environment is that we're not a full service restaurant, so we can't really offer an elaborate menu. Just because of the facility that we have doesn't allow for that. We just don't have the space to accommodate that. So we kind of go through
kind of amazing daily specials. You always have a choice of a few options.
Right. And then we have a gourmet grilled cheese and several made from scratch soups that we offer all day from the downtown location. So we've actually been able to service a lot of offices in the downtown area with lunch throughout the week. So that's been pretty good.
So maybe some essential offices that have been open might order for their whole staff, that kind of thing?
Right, like the banks, insurance companies, things like that. So
yep.
Places like that.
And when you sell out of, your daily special, then you can always get a grilled cheese.
Right, you can always get a grilled cheese. That's not always what they're looking for, but a lot of times people that are calling are just calling to support us, so they're, if we are sold out of something, they do still tend to order from us. So it's very good. It's been good.
Yeah.
But
so
one of the reasons why we sell out, sorry.
Oh, what was that?
One of the reasons why we sell out every day, and it's always sad to say, I'm so sorry, we've sold out of that, but we only allow 3 people to work in our kitchen. So we're practicing social distancing within our kitchen to make sure. I think if I brought more people into the kitchen, it would somewhat, it wouldn't be as safe as an environment for each other. So I made that decision early on that we would make decisions based on the health and safety of our staff, of each other, and our guests. So that's pretty much how we sell out. It's because we can really only with 3 people do so much in one period of time. So.
And so if people are interested in ordering curbside to go from the Finicky Fork Catering Company or the cafe, you post your weekly menus on your Facebook pages, right?
Correct.
Yep. So you can just go to the Finicky Fork Cafe Facebook page or the Finicky Fork Catering Company Facebook page, and every week there's a new menu with amazing items like lobster risotto and mac and cheese with pulled pork. And what are some of the other items that you've been offering?
It's quite a diverse menu. So we're trying to offer a lot of comfort foods, but also some more of the items that we offer on our catering menu, which are a little more exclusive. So, but we do have, like this week we have a Cabernet braised short rib, which is definitely a guest favorite. We've been offering prime rib. And then again, like the mac and cheese, the barbecue, those are always win-wins. Some Italian meals, just different. Our executive chef, Cindy, is very, she has a very diverse menu. So there's lots of different things that she can offer, which is nice. So
there's like enchiladas one day, lobster risotto another day.
Mexican, Asian, Italian, the all-American comfort foods. So it's pretty amazing. She's very, very talented and is able to do a lot of different types of menus, which is
what
great
about
for us.
desserts? Can you add on desserts every day? I saw a post about whoopie pies and they looked amazing.
Yeah.
Is that a regular offering?
It's not a regular offering, but we do have an in-house pastry chef that works for us. And every week I'll go ahead and tell her kind of what I want to surprise people with. So, but those will go very quickly sometimes. You never exactly know. A lot of people have called and ordered all the desserts, like sold us out in one call. So
I'll take everything you got.
Right. So, and again, we want to offer like the freshest product available. So when we plan our menus, it's a little difficult to know exactly how many of each item to make because we don't have a trend. There's nothing to follow. This is not anything we've done before.
Right.
So we're going on pretty much on a feeling. And now that we've been doing it a few weeks, I can kind of tell what days are busier, what people are more apt to order than other things. So we're trying to find.
What's been a real winner of a menu item?
Well, the macaroni and cheese and pulled pork is like a win-win for everyone. Everybody loves that. The last week we ran short rib and we were sold out the night before.
Wow.
So the night before we even did the menu, we had gotten enough orders and calls and that we had sold out. And our short rib takes 8 hours to braise. So it wasn't something that you can it's not something you can just whip up more real quick. So we planned ahead for that when we put it on our menu this week, is that we would have a little bit more to offer. So those are things. We have this great, actually this one's made by a chef and not a pastry chef, is that peanut butter chocolate bomb cake. And it's amazing. So it's similar to like a molten cake, but instead of being filled with chocolate, it's filled with peanut butter cream, and it is amazing. Yeah. Oh, yep. It's really, really, really good. I have to kind of stay away from it. I would eat dessert all day. It's just the kind of person I am. So.
So you don't cook the pastry, you let someone else do it.
Well, there's certain things. There's some pastries that I do. Like I did some of the pastries for Easter. But everyone has their favorite things that they like to make, so But
So
I would eat.
that's a perfect segue. So you offer the daily menu items, but then you also did a large kind of Easter meal, and you
Right.
offered a number of choices for Easter. Tell me how that went.
So Easter Sunday was it was amazing for us. We were very, very, very fortunate. We served over 60 full-size dinners that feed 4 to 6 people, and it averaged out to about 400 people within a 3-hour period of time. So, and that was with delivery, curbside pickup. And we had some very nice offerings on there. We had a traditional roasted turkey dinner, the Cabernet Braised short rib, prime baju, and what was the other one? Oh, ham. I should have known ham. I never sliced
the
much
ham on
ham.
there.
Yeah, and a nice ham dinner with a bourbon orange glaze. We had several different side orders to choose from, like 8 or 9 different side orders. So it's still a custom meal where you could choose your protein and then you could choose your side orders, desserts, salads, things like that. And we had an overwhelming turnout for that, which was great. So
Yeah.
we really needed it.
Oh, good.
That was
so we're looking forward to the next holiday, and that is Mother's Day, one of my new favorite holidays. Will we be able to purchase a Mother's Day meal?
So we're working on the menus for Mother's Day now. I know you know that last year we were at the Fae Club for Mother's Day, and we had.
Oh, I know. I was there, and it was the best Mother's Day brunch I've ever had. That French toast.
Well, we will have the creme brulee French toast on our menu. I know that we're working on having the right amount. Again, we're not a full service restaurant, so we need to be able to, when we design a menu, we need to make sure that we can work it within the kitchen facility that we have. So the options we need to make sure, like, do we have enough flat top space to make all that creme brulee French toast and lemon ricotta pancakes and, you know, all the other things. So
whatever that was. Oh,
there were some really nice options on that menu. That was a great day for us. So initially our plan was, before any of this happened, was I was talking with some other business owners downtown, Eddie's Music and Strong Style, and we were hoping to see if we could use that outdoor space down on Mill Street, because that's a beautiful spot to do a nice Mother's Day brunch. But then all these things happened, and so we'll be doing it out of 199 Main Street. And again, we are working on the menu to make sure we have plenty of options available, but you'll want to get that creme brulee French toast. It's not something we do every day, but it's delicious.
I know I will. Yeah. So we have, you know, a lot of people are concerned with takeout food. And they're concerned with groceries when they buy groceries, about sanitizing their food before they get in the door. And a lot of people are concerned about ordering takeout from other people that have made the food. What kind of precautions do you take to ensure that your food is safe from any of the, you know, the virus activity?
Okay. So it goes back to us allowing the 3 people in the kitchen. Even when we did Easter, we did have 7 people. 4 were not in the kitchen. 4 were in. 1 was upstairs. We had 2 people delivering and 2 people actually plating and setting up. So our natural environment is we have a wholesale license, so we run a very strict kitchen as it is, as far as sanitation requirements. With the COVID-19, everyone's wearing a mask, so we all wear masks. There's usually no more than 3 people in the kitchen. Everyone has a mask on. We are practicing social distancing within ourselves. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that the typical food safe sanitizer that everyone uses is not really to code to combat COVID-19. The number one thing that we've researched is that it is soap and water is what's going to take care of killing that virus.
So hand washing regularly.
Hand washing regularly. We have 2 hand sinks within 6 feet of each other. So constant hand washing. as regarding gloves, so there's a right way to wear gloves and there's a wrong way to wear gloves. And as I walk through the city, I see a lot of people wearing gloves the wrong way. So all of our staff has always been fully versed in how to properly wear gloves and what the intention of wearing gloves is for. So we're doing that. We have chefs.
So people can be assured that the food that they get from the Finicky Fork Cafe or the Finicky Fork Catering is going to be safe.
I believe so, absolutely. Someone had a question for me today on Facebook asking if we use a third party service to deliver our food, and I won't do that either because I have no control over a third party. I know and trust my staff. So when you get a delivery from the Finicky Fork, it's also from a staff member from the Finicky Fork. So I just can't I can't comfortably put my food in the backseat of someone else's car and let them drive off with it and ensure that it's going to be handled safely. So, so we have one of our staff members do that.
Great. Okay, so to close, you are collaborating with the gardener spot in Leominster. Why don't you tell me about that?
Sure. So I got a call from Mr. Joe Bowen the other day, who actually connected me with Neil from the gardener spot. And because we have a wholesale license, we're able to do a lot of things that some other places might not be able to do. And one of the things is that our food is available for resale through other vendors. So I spoke with Neil and I went down and met with him, and we are going to offer some of our homemade from scratch soups, some fresh made sandwiches, Cindy's amazing Pomodoro sauce, our handcrafted meatballs. So there'll be, so we're gonna kind of merge with them into the Leominster area. So when people go in, what a great spot they have down there too. It's amazing. But he has some other local vendors going in as well. Hollis Hill is in there selling their syrup. They have Gerardo's Bakery down there selling bread. So it's a nice to go and get some great products.
So that's a nice collaboration with the gardener spot in Leominster, which is on Granite Street, right before the Leominster High School. They have kind of switched to turn their model into kind of becoming produce and offering food like from bakeries and Hollis Hills Farm and now Finicky Fork. So so that sounds awesome.
Yeah, we're really excited. I was really, really excited for that opportunity. It's going to be a great collaboration between all that. He really wants to support local, his business, and he's really done very well with taking care of the community. So we're honored and excited to partner with him. So.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for coming on and talking to us about how you've adjusted the Finicky Fork Catering Company and the Finicky Fork Cafe in the light of COVID-19. And I hope to order Mother's Day meal from you very soon.
Thanks, Sam. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much for watching at home, Discussing Fitchburg Now from our home studios.